Just when you thought this JGR lawsuit couldn't get any messier, Denny Hamlin grabbed his phone, opened up X, and absolutely lit up Spire Motorsports co-owner Jeff Dickerson in front of the whole NASCAR world. And trust me, what he wrote is going to leave you with your jaw on the floor. So let's back up for a second and talk about what's actually going on here, because this story has more twists than a road course. Joe Gibbs Racing, one of the biggest teams in all of NASCAR, has filed a massive $8 million lawsuit. They're going after their former competition director, a guy named Chris Gabehart. And the team that's also being sued is Spire Motorsports, where Gabehart works now. Now, here's where things get really wild. JGR is saying in court papers that Chris Gabehart was part of what they call a brazen scheme to steal JGR's most sensitive information. But it gets even crazier. JGR claims Gabehart synced their secret files to his personal Google Drive. We're talking about car setups, payroll information, and team analytics. And get this, the folder he saved them all in was literally named Spire. Yeah, you read that right, Spire, the exact name of the team he was about to go work for. You really can't make this stuff up. It gets worse, though. Court documents show that Gabehart admitted to deleting a bunch of text messages with Jeff Dickerson, who is the co-owner of Spire. He deleted those messages right around the time he left JGR in late 2025. Now, in a court case, deleting messages like that is a huge deal, and it has become one of the biggest issues in this whole legal fight. Now, just to clear something up, the official defendants in the lawsuit are Chris Gabehart and Spire Motorsports as a company. Jeff Dickerson isn't personally named as a defendant. But since he co-owns Spire, he's right in the middle of all of this. JGR has even targeted his personal phones and messages with subpoenas, which means they want to dig through his communications. So even though his name isn't on the lawsuit directly, he's deep in the legal crosshairs. This week, the judge in the case said there's going to be a telephonic hearing on Tuesday. That's basically a meeting over the phone where the judge will help finalize the trial date. So this thing is moving fast, and it's heading to a courtroom soon. Now this is where the story really starts heating up. On Thursday, the 30th of April, 2026, Jeff Dickerson went on the Teardown podcast, also known as the Gluckcast, hosted by NASCAR reporter Jeff Gluck, and he was clearly fed up. He decided he was going to defend his team, and he didn't hold back one single bit. Dickerson said that during the legal stuff, he's been called a liar and a thief and a cheater. Yeah, those are some pretty harsh words to be tossed around in a courtroom. Dickerson pushed back hard and said the evidence against him hasn't really amounted to much in front of the judge so far. Now here's the part where things get interesting. Dickerson actually admitted on the podcast that Gabehart took something. He was talking about photos that were taken of JGR's computer screens. But Spire is also saying they never received or wanted that information. So they're trying to walk this really thin line where they admit Gabehart did something, but they say the team is clean. But Dickerson's main argument was something totally different. He says JGR is being unfair because they refuse to talk about Spire's big partner in the courtroom. That partner is Hendrick Motorsports, one of the most powerful teams in all of NASCAR. According to Dickerson, JGR is hiding that part on purpose to make Spire look smaller and weaker. Here's exactly what he told Jeff Gluck. He said, "You hear these things and they know better. They know who our alliance partner is. They just don't have the balls to say it in court. That's what I mean. They want to diminish all these things. They want to diminish all of our people. They want to hurt us in front of the industry. They want to hurt us in front of sponsors and fans just because they can. That's just the thing. You know who our alliance partner is." He kept going and added, "I'm not trying to turn this into a train wreck. I'm just saying they know who our partner is. They just won't say it, because if I have it, who else has it? So they want to bring in all these other little teams." So basically, Dickerson is saying JGR is picking on the smaller team and ignoring the bigger fish, which is Hendrick Motorsports. He thinks JGR is trying to embarrass Spire in front of fans, sponsors, and the rest of NASCAR just because they can. That's a pretty bold thing to say when your team is the one being sued. But here's the thing. When that podcast clip hit the internet, Denny Hamlin saw it, and Denny Hamlin was not about to let it slide. Remember, Denny is one of the top drivers at Joe Gibbs Racing. So when somebody talks about JGR like that, he takes it personally. So on the 1st of May 2026, Denny pulled out his phone, went straight to X, and let everybody have it. Here's exactly what Denny posted. He wrote, "Yeah, okay, buddy. You hired someone who stole tens of millions worth of information, lied about communications y'all had after you deleted them, and now is getting paid double to work on your truck program? GTFO. What was it you called Richard again? Was it you who was leaking information after RTA calls?" Whoa. Okay, let's break that down piece by piece, because there is a lot going on here. First, Denny opens with, "Yeah, okay, buddy." That's basically him saying, sure, whatever you say." It's dripping with sarcasm. Then he goes right at Spire. He says they hired someone who stole tens of millions worth of information. That's a giant amount. We're not talking about a small leak. According to Denny, this is a massive theft. Next, Denny accuses them of lying about messages they deleted. So in Denny's mind, not only did they steal information, but they tried to cover it up too. Then he drops another bomb. He says Gabehart is now getting paid double to work on Spire's truck program. So Denny is basically saying the guy who took the stuff is making twice as much money over at Spire now. That's huge because it suggests Spire knew exactly what they were doing. Then he says GTFO. If you don't know what that means, just imagine Denny telling Dickerson to get out of here, but in a way that's a lot less polite. But Denny wasn't done yet. He throws in two more questions that have everybody talking. The first one is, what was it you called Richard again? Now, Denny doesn't say the full name, but most fans are guessing he's talking about Richard Childress, the legendary team owner. It sounds like Denny is hinting that Dickerson once said something disrespectful about Richard. The second question is even bigger. Denny asks, was it you who was leaking information after RTA calls? Now, RTA stands for the Race Team Alliance. That's a group made up of all the major NASCAR team owners. They have private meetings to talk about big stuff in the sport. So Denny is straight up asking if Dickerson was the one leaking secret information from those private meetings. That is a serious accusation, like an unprecedented one. No NASCAR owner has ever publicly accused another owner of leaking confidential RTA info like this. It's a grenade thrown right into the heart of NASCAR's leadership. So now we have a public war of words on top of an already wild lawsuit. Denny is accusing Dickerson and Spire of benefiting from stolen information, lying about deleted messages, paying Gabehart double, and possibly leaking secrets from private owner meetings. Meanwhile, Dickerson is flipping the story. He's saying JGR is being a bully and hiding that Hendrick Motorsports is part of this too. But here's the thing nobody can ignore. Even Dickerson admitted Gabehart took something. With that telephonic hearing happening on Tuesday, this case is only going to get bigger.